My husband has asked me this question more times than I can count. Each time, it leaves me at a loss for words. If you love me so much, how could you hurt me like this? The truth is, I don't know how to respond to him. No matter how hard I try, no explanation or reasoning feels right. Not even to myself. There's no answer that makes sense, no justification that fits. I do love him, more than anything, and every day that he chooses to stay with me, I'm amazed by his strength. But he doesn't know everything. He only saw a glimpse, a single message exchanged with another man, a romantic text that I encouraged. That was all it took to break him. But the reality is darker, deeper than that. The affair had lasted for over 4 months before he found out. We had been intimately involved several times, and my affair partner was incredibly charming. At the time, I was flattered, even captivated by the attention. But the day everything came to light made me see things differently. Now, I carry the weight of my actions, a shameful burden that my husband still doesn't fully understand. Why did I do it? I don't know. I could try to blame my circumstances, feeling miserable, worn out, resentful. But millions of people in tough relationships don't cheat, so why did I? That question terrifies me because I have no clear answer. Any reasons I give sound hollow, selfish. Before all of this, I thought of myself as a good person, maybe insecure, maybe struggling with my self-worth, but a good person. Now, I can't view myself that way anymore. I see my selfishness now, the cowardice, the willingness to betray someone who gave me his whole heart. It's horrifying to think about. The person I was during that time is unrecognizable to me, yet she was still me, and I have to live with that. I've tried to tell myself that I need to rebuild my self-worth, but it feels impossible. Every time someone calls me a good person or a good wife, I flinch. My mind immediately rebels, whispering that I'm not. If only they knew. It feels like I'm living a lie, pretending to be someone worthy of kindness, respect, or love when deep down, I don't believe I am. Recently, my husband said something that stuck with me. He told me, "You can't undo it, but you can decide what kind of person you'll be from now on. You can choose integrity." I'm holding on to that. Even though I can't change my past, I can still decide what happens next. I don't want to be a coward anymore. I don't want to be the person who hurts the ones I love the most. But the guilt is suffocating. There's a part of me that feels I should confess everything to the world, so no one ever believes I'm better than I am. Every time I meet someone new, I feel the urge to tell them everything, to let them know the truth so they don't think I'm a good person. That's how deep my shame runs. It overshadows everything else about me. And yet, despite all of this, my husband is still here. I can't fathom his strength. How can someone so wounded still see the humanity in me? How can he look at me with compassion when I can hardly bear to look at myself? I admire him more than words can express. He's the braver one, the stronger one. I know this is something I'll carry with me forever. It's not the same pain he feels. It never could be, but it's a constant reminder of what I destroyed. Every time he smiles or laughs, I'm reminded of how close I came to losing him. My goal is simple: to become a better person, someone he can trust again, someone who earns his love instead of just holding on to it. I'll never stop trying to prove that I can change, even if I can never fully make up for what I've done. I should have confessed long ago, but I was too afraid to face the truth. Now, he's told me he wants out. He says he regrets everything, including having children with me. The only reason he hasn't left yet is because of them. Hearing those words shattered something deep inside me. He now looks at me with such disdain that it feels like he sees nothing good in the life we once shared. It's as if I've become poison to him, and the hurt I've caused is clear on his face. I've been struggling to hold myself together, but the weight of guilt, shame, and self-loathing has consumed me. Despite everything, I try to stay strong for our children. They didn't ask for this chaos, and the least I can do is provide them with some stability. Some days, though, It feels impossible. There have been moments of deep despair, thoughts I'm ashamed of, but I know I must keep going for them. I've started therapy, which feels like a small step, but it's something. I've been in such a dark place for so long, and instead of confronting my issues, I escaped into something that only made everything worse. I love my husband more than I can put into words, even though that might not make sense given what I've done. My actions don't reflect the love I feel, and that's something I can't reconcile. If I truly loved him, how could I have hurt him like this? That question haunts me every day. When he first found out, he said he might be open to couples therapy, but the more I apologize, the more distant he becomes. We hardly talk except about the children. We share a home and a bed, but there's an invisible wall between us. I don't know how to fix this, and I'm terrified that I've already lost him for good. For now, I've decided to focus on being the best mother I can be. It's the only thing keeping me here, and I owe it to my children to be there for them. I want to prove not just to him, but to myself, that I can be a better person, someone who takes responsibility for her actions and learns from them. Still, I can't let go of the hope that over time, I might earn a second chance with him. I know it's not guaranteed, and I don't expect forgiveness, but I want to show him, through my actions, that I'm not the same person who hurt him. I owe him that much. Right now, though, I feel completely lost. Living under the same roof as someone I've devastated is excruciating. I don't know how to navigate this. I don't want to overwhelm him with more apologies, but I also don't want to seem indifferent. I want to respect his need for space, but I fear the distance between us is only growing. Yesterday, my husband handed me divorce papers. It feels so final, so overwhelming, but part of me knew this was coming. Things had been escalating for weeks, and yesterday it all came to a head. When he came home, he was furious. He called me names, liar. The same things he's been saying for a while now. But this time, he said it was over. He couldn't bear to look at me anymore, and he told me to leave our room. I moved to the guest room, but something inside me wouldn't let it end like that. I knocked on his door, hoping we could talk and I could calm him down. When he opened it, he was livid. He started yelling. And when I tried to stand my ground, he pushed me. I don't know why I reacted the way I did, but for the first time, I fought back verbally. I told him I wouldn't have cheated if he hadn't been such a terrible partner. I regret those words more than anything. I've never spoken to him like that before. I've always taken the insults and blame because, deep down, I know I deserve most of it. But in that moment, I lashed out. He walked toward the guest room, and when I followed, he lashed out at me again. I flinched and stepped back, but he came at me again, and I feared for my safety. For a moment, I wanted to call the police and report a domestic violence incident, but I stopped myself. The next morning, I went to him to apologize, wanting to take back what I had said and explain that I didn't mean it, that I was just angry and hurt. But he didn't want to hear any of it. He called me a liar again, cursed me out, and said everything that happened the night before was my fault because I didn't try harder to de-escalate things. I've apologized so many times I've lost count. I've tried to explain that I wasn't trying to hurt him, that I just wanted us to talk. But he doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear anything from me. I'm at a loss for what to do now. I feel so broken, and I know he feels the same, if not worse. I've destroyed the person he once was, the love we shared, and whatever fragile connection we had is gone now. I want to keep fighting for my family, but I'm not sure there's anything left to fight for. For now, I'm just focusing on getting through the day, on the kids, on therapy, on making sure I don't slip back into the dark place I've been teetering on the edge of. But it's hard. I'm still in the same house with him, sharing the same space, and every interaction feels like walking on broken glass. I don't know where to go from here. All I know is that I've reached the end of this chapter, and I'm terrified of what comes next.